Hello and welcome to Brilliance Today, where individuals let their brilliance shine through their stories, expertise and philosophy, because they're on a mission to make a difference and leave a legacy. Introducing Brenda Dempsey, publisher, speaker and TV presenter. Get ready to be inspired.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Brilliance Today. And today we've got an amazing guest that you'll find out all about in a little moment or two. I just want to introduce you to the Voices of Brilliance. And this podcast is a bit different from other podcasts because this is all about celebrating optimism, brilliance, and finding the best in what makes us human, and that absolute passion to live our life out in the way that we desire so that we're making a difference and giving back to the world. So let me introduce you to today's guest. And we have the wonderful, the brilliant, hope you can see his smile, Dr. Kianor Shah. Hi, Kianor, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me on the show, Brenda.
Oh, you're most welcome. So I like to ask my guests to speak about themselves. It's a little exercise because sometimes people don't like speaking about themselves, but I love to encourage it. So let's begin. Let's dive right on in and tell us all about who you are, what you do, what you're passionate, and what really drives you in today's world.
Well, thank you. My name is Dr. Kianor Shah. It's an honor to be on the Brilliance Today show and to discuss some things that we can do to improve our profession and get it back in the right direction. I'm a dentist and I've spent the past 18 years clinically practicing and caring for thousands upon thousands of patients and improving my practices that I've owned and operated into a scenario that's very comforting for patients. We are one of the only practices in Southern California with 5-star reviews on all platforms. We do things differently for patients, and they already have a apprehension of dentists when they come to us. That's one side of me, is the clinical practice. The other side is being an entrepreneur and a businessman, because when you're in a dental or a medical or healthcare setting, you also have to have certain people skills and business skills to prosper. So as part of my education after dental school, I went and did a fellowship in implantology. I'm very focused on implant dentistry, but I do what all 6-7 specialists do. And also I pursued an MBA that has enabled me to be able to launch countless projects that are for the benefit of doctors and patients only. The profession we're in is significant. Over the years, I have faced the challenges and learned about the challenges that we face as dentists, and which subsequently also translates to our patient care. And what we learned in dental school was completely different than what we see in commerce. So my plan was to make an impact.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but you're very good there. I like that. You took note of my little signal. Can you tell me some of the challenges that you faced and what kind of traits that you have helped you overcome them so that people can understand at a sort of ground level, so to speak?
We have the same problem in Britain and anywhere else in the world now. What has survived the millennia was the patient-doctor relationship. It was about healing, and it was about one of the main principles in business where you take care of other people's needs and your needs are taken care of. But in the last 4 to 5 decades, these third parties have come into our healthcare industry and our profession and have caused havoc. They see lucrative business, private equity comes in. There's a lot of unethical stuff being done in the background where their ownership laws violated, management companies coming in, insurance companies, governments, lobbyists. Everybody wants to have their hands in the patient-doctor relationship. And this is one industry where it's a no-no, and profiteering and interfering with the patient-doctor relationship is absolutely unacceptable to the Hippocratic oaths. So we have to, as ethical doctors, step up and say, hey, guys, enough is enough. You guys need to take the back seat again and let the patient-doctor run the front.
I love that. You know, you know, a lot of my work's all around the voice, and the voice is about your truth. And I think what's happened, you're right, in the last like 4 decades or so, we're beginning to be afraid to speak our truth because of so many, like you say, there's so many people want a bit of the pie. They want to try and tell you what you can and cannot do, but actually it's got nothing to do with what you're trying to establish, which in your case is a patient a doctor relationship. And of course you do take that oath, don't you? So tell us some of the ways and how you've been getting around this then, because that's interesting.
It's a very profound effort that you have to do if you want to cause a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift requires a large group of professionals and brilliant minds to actually bring the truth back to the forefront of what the relationships need to be. So we started with a small group of doctors. It was about 4 or 5 of us with our first meeting. And that developed into, through multiple events and meetings, developed into the Top Doctor movement. That's, if I may show you some visuals that
Please do.
give us a little
Yeah,
bit of.
I suppose we could talk about that Top Doctor movement at this point then.
Certainly, yeah. This is the crux of how we are going to change the industry back to where it used to be. So, at the height of COVID, we started issuing first class that led to podcasts being done by 100 very respected doctors. We wanted to find doctors that have some kind of say or training or education or background, either be it in the academic world or the business world, that could actually make an impact in the supply chain. The first class in 22 and 20 came out, and we had over 2 million healthcare providers that tuned into our educational programs during that time, given COVID was going on. And instead of sitting around complaining, we were actually pushing out education of value. And from there, it developed into classes every year of anywhere between 100 to 300 people. For example, the multidisciplinary class where we house chiropractors, medical doctors, pharmacists, optometrists, philosophers, in the hopes that the other medical professions can copy this model and actually restore some order back in their professions. This is where we get all of our, this is by nomination only, by doctors that nominate, alumni that nominate new doctors incoming. And it has enabled us to essentially be involved in every aspect of healthcare, from the public servants down to the third parties that in some capacity or another work with us. We need to work with them, but in a different environment. It's very important to preserve autonomy and freedom of practice for medical professionals. And that's the crux of the ordeal. If we are back in our position, think about COVID, for example. They were telling doctors, if you don't follow the general script, we're going to pull your license, we're going to do this to you, we're going to ruin your lives. This is not what medicine and healthcare is about. We need autonomy. We need to respect the standards of care, but we need to get autonomy in our practices again, where we decide what the patient needs, given all of their conditions and their other factors that play a role in it, versus subduing doctors, bribing doctors, telling doctors what to do, taking ownership of the practices and just hiring doctors with unlicensed personnel. All the things that are going on under the guise of management and well-being of the public. So we need to get back to what medicine and healthcare is about. And I think we're going to achieve that with the plan that we have. Now, out of this group, there's 24 projects that I've developed. We invent the projects. We put one of the top doctors in charge that takes these seeds and turns them into nice trees by planting them properly. And these 24 projects are mainly led by they're all led by doctors. So when you have a doctor on the helm of an organization, you have someone that has something in the back of their mind that's called a Hippocratic Oath. And they'll think twice about, should I order the cheaper material or should I order something that's more beneficial to my patient, versus a business person running medical practices backed by private equity. And people just don't understand this. They go to doctors and they don't know who owns the place. They don't know what their intentions are, or the intentions to empty their pockets, or the intentions to heal them.
Mm.
Um,
And I think this is probably a problem in many countries around the world. You know, if I think back to the 60s and the way medical services were run here in the UK, you know, you had your matrons, you had all your medical people running the hospitals. Then all of a sudden, they brought in all these business people where all the money was going and not going into the patient care and taking it out of the hands of, you know, the matrons, the nurses, the doctors, all the people who know exactly what they're doing. So it has been a great challenge. And I love the fact that you're trying to bring this back to that model of, well, the doctors know best, the nurses, the people who work in that profession know best. So in terms of your top doc movement, is that global? Is it the USA, or can you tell us a bit more about its reach?
it's currently in 156 countries. By the time of World Gala next year, we intend to be in 170. We did a World Gala last year, the Doctors World Gala, at the time where we were about 500 doctors. It was a grand success. Everybody gathered up, and a lot of relationships came out of that. The top docs know our mission, they know our vision, they support it and help with it. And these are not just any random doctors. They have followings of 50, 40, 30, 100,000 other doctors. So the idea is to gather them up and write policy and standards of care and things of that sort that we need to get back to. Because once we are in a room, you know, they put 100 scientists in a room, and these guys came out with an atomic bomb. And now, you know, we're talking about 1,000 doctors in a room. And we're going to be writing some healthcare history come next June, as we have prepared for this for about a decade to get to
Wow.
this stage.
Wow.
Um, no retreat.
Congratulations. That is phenomenal work. And, you know, there was a couple of things that's been going through my mind as I've been listening to you and looking at your slide. And, you know, for me, everything I believe in, I'm driven by values. And I love the fact that you've just mentioned all of that and collaboration. So I can see from a lot of your work, it's about bringing people together. It's about getting the best, you know, your interdisciplinary group. That for me, that's phenomenal, because in the world of education, we used to bring different disciplines, and you can create something far greater when you've got a lot of great minds coming together, more than you can do if you're on your own, just with your own little cohort of people. So I would love to congratulate you on being a leader in collaborating and bringing people together. We need more people like you, Dr. Shah, for sure, in the world. So let's talk. I know you want to sort of say a few things around the Global Summit Institute that you've founded. Tell us a little bit about that, because that sounds really cool as well.
That's what started it all. It's a three-pronged approach where we are creating these projects based on academic, administrative, and financial perspectives. So there's a dozen of them that are in the financial and academic. And there's some in the other sector. There's 24 projects total. One of them is the Doctors World Gala that we're discussing today.
Yeah.
There are 23 others that are tackling every aspect of the supply chain. Be it from the technology perspective, be it from the AI perspective. You have to appreciate that the fact that AI is now coming into all the medical and other industries. Every time you have a new technological advancement, be it cell phones, be it the internet, a lot of people tend to lose their jobs, but a lot of economies develop around those new technologies. I remember when the phone came out, people on the BlackBerry didn't want to switch over to the screen
Yeah.
phones. And then you had people complaining about the internet, saying that it's a waste of time. And now nobody can live without either. It wouldn't even, without those two items, they wouldn't even be able to go back to the 60s, let alone as part of their life now. So technology prevails anytime it improves the quality of human life, regardless of the critics, regardless of those people, the naysayers. So we have to embrace technology. And I believe that now that the AI that has come out, artificial intelligence, will have a tremendous impact on eliminating these third parties out of many professions because their rhetoric about increasing access to care or providing only management or some nonsense they come up with to justify their existence is no longer necessary. You do not need a management companies controlling bank accounts and telling doctors what to do. You can have this done by AI where they're absolutely eliminated. The question becomes what is important is that the AI doesn't fall into the hands of the wrong people. So in my profession, at least, we set up the Dental AI Association. It's one of those 24 projects. And it has been the fastest growing association I have ever seen. And I've been participating or founding or co-founding many of them over the years. So people want to know about AI, and we're doing a tour right now around the country and around the world. That's another project that we just launched in all of North America and Europe. And this AI association will transform and help cause a paradigm shift by utilizing smart technologies to replace the unneeded components in medical facilities.
Mm.
Um,
How
so
do
our
you,
group,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Sorry for interrupting you. It's just there's questions here. I mean, you're
Sure.
just amazing to listen to because you're so knowledgeable. But I think people might want to, they might be considering, well, how is AI going to improve dentistry, for example?
So in a host of ways, first diagnostically, by utilizing certain AI products, we can insert them into our X-ray systems. They go in, they diagnose and make sure that cavities, bone loss, existing restoration, missing teeth. It maps it all out for you and spits out a treatment plan that you still as a doctor have to look over. But this is how far we are going, where we can do predictable analysis of what the patient is going to be in 5 years if they have pre-exposing factors like diabetes. We can
Wow.
mention, we can see and catch these things. So human error, number one, will be reduced and minimized. I was looking at a robot a couple of days ago that does crown preps in less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
You sit in a robot here. I'll show you. It's actually interesting. I have
Oh,
that
yeah.
for a different presentation on my desktop. So having tools that um, here's I'm not sure if you can see this particular slide, but let's open it up. Do
Oh,
you see
yeah.
this? This
Yes.
is a robot right now that they're testing with that can reduce a lot of the manual labor on dentists. It still all needs to be overseen by dental professionals. You have AI programs now that replace a lot of the front desk with insurance and checking patients in and allowing the front desk to
Yeah.
focus more on patient care and consuming customers that come in and getting them set in and alleviating their anxiety and giving them a good experience. So less administrative work, more patient care focus.
Oh, I
You
like
have,
that.
yeah, there's a lot of AI applications that would that may be mind-boggling as to what's going on. I have seen holograms now that they're making, shaped of a doctor itself that sits in the waiting area,
Wow.
and they answer all the patient's questions about the procedure, what to expect afterwards, post-operative instructions, pre-operative preparation, answering all the questions, obtaining informed consent from them. So a lot of the administrative and the chit chatter is eliminated. There's still going to be a human touch because you're going to be able to ask additional specific questions to the doctor or chair side. But AI, if used properly, will improve a lot of things that we have in a dental setting and also improve not only just the clinical aspects of matters, but also the administrative and the workflow of the practice. I'm sure patients love getting a happy birthday card and, and a call from the office regularly, but this can all be done, utilizing AI.
Can I ask a question then about, your robot there doing some dentistry? Um, Many people are afraid of the dentist because they don't go regular enough or whatever phobia that is created in their minds over the years. How would the use of AI help patients who are nervous to alleviate fear of is it going to be painful or the unknown?
So that is still an innovation that we would love to see at the Dental AI Association. Um, I can certainly tell you that eliminating human error and facilitating the time and speed that we have for a given procedure will certainly add to reducing that factor for patients.
Mm.
So knowing a predictable outcome, knowing the different techniques of injection, and that would be a tremendous idea to explore as a robot that can actually give injections that are much better than patients. And I'm sure that's going to be either in the works or will pop up at some point or another. But accuracy, time management, having a good experience when you come in. If you come in as an anxious patient and you get a patient, you got a staff member in the front smiling at you, and then comforting you instead of being on the phone screaming at insurance companies or trying to get. It's a different environment that you're trying to establish. Just the right environment that will give you the maximum sort of serenity when you come into a dental office. With AI, we can achieve that. More so, we can eliminate and kick out all these third parties out of our operatories.
And I think the third parties is probably one of your key aspects to like eliminate and focus on, as you say, the care of the patients and making it an enjoyable experience, for sure. And you even see that in other medical practices now. When you go into the doctors or the dentist, you just go into a machine and you tap that you're in and who you are. So as you said, that's taking away those administrative tasks, that then they can be more personable, as you say, reassuring people and developing that relationship that I think is needed in anything that's worth its salt. It's always about relationships. So tell us about your World Gala then, Dr. Shah.
I would love to invite all of our colleagues, especially the ones from your neck of the woods and in Britain and Europe, because this is going to happen in Sardinia. I'll share another story with you. Down off the coast of Italy, and last time we
Lovely.
did it was a grand success. And what we were looking at was to have 1,000 doctors at this time. If you are familiar with that peninsula, the Forte Village Resort is one of the top resorts in Europe. It's by Condé Nast has it as one of the top this year on the planet. It's a little paradise. The colleagues that are doctors that will be attending can earn up to 100 and up to 40 units that are good for the licensures. You have all 6 continents participating, over 150 countries. We had a nice concert there with a surprise violinist last year. You have our awards ceremony, the red carpet event, and then we have a grand exhibition with some scientific sessions going on. Lots of roundtable discussions. We are going to figure this out as to what needs to be done in the next decade to restore order in the healthcare industry, not just domestically, but on a national. One problem we're also having is we don't have an accreditation or an oversight body over healthcare. We do have globalization. Everybody's talking to everybody from around the world now in the professions, but we don't have anybody overseeing that. So the standards of care are being diluted and affected country by country, but there is really only one way to properly practice and do a procedure. You have what's called the standard care. We need the outcome to be the same, but how we get there is up to the doctor themselves. So it's very prudent that we gather our minds from around the globe, because ultimately third parties, they're no different than vultures or parasites or however you want to put it, because they come in for one purpose: is money and
Yeah,
finances.
money.
Coming
Yeah.
purpose of taking care of people. This is our God-given task, is to heal and cure, and money is a secondary consideration. So we got to put our minds together. And the ones, the trillionaires of our times aren't going to be coders. They're not going to be web designers or web developers or Google type machines. This is going to be based on people that take AI and create solutions for human beings. These are going to be the next set of the first set of children, as of our time, is the ones that are using AI to improve the quality of human life. So I encourage people to always innovate, and if they have innovations that they want to bring to life, ideas, then we can also help them at our association here, which we set up. This is the only one in the world, and some of the finest doctors are in this dental association now that we have brought on. Dr. Tipton is actually from England. He's very well known. Here's some contact information for anyone that is interested either to participate or take a leadership role or be a sponsor or an affiliate of some kind, to reach out to us in that capacity for that scenario.
And I'm definitely more than happy, you know, because I'm with you 100% on your vision and the essence of what you're doing, the fact it's collaborative. And I think I'll be having a couple of conversations with some of my doctor friends, and if they don't already know about all your work, they certainly will by the time we finish speaking about it. And of course, you're going to be in Brilliance magazine, and we'll make sure that it's getting into the right hands so that you can grow that vision. And I love that AI for improvement of human life. And I think when you've got that mindset and you open your mind to that whole vision, that concept, then you're more readily going to embrace AI rather than see it as a threat. And I have to say, I'm very happy to say that I'm in your camp. As a publisher, we embrace AI. It doesn't get rid of the job that authors and writers want to do, but however, it can enhance what you're doing. And it certainly, around time and quality, certainly improves it, you know, but you need that human spirit for the uniqueness. So, yes. So, wow, is there anything else you want to say about your work? And then maybe we can find out 2 or 3 things about you.
About the work that we're doing now on the AI side, it's fascinating. We have launched the first journal where all the innovations are being displayed, some of them there and some of them in one of the committees that we have. Essentially, we're looking at these kind of things that relate to dentistry. A lot of our medical colleagues could do the same. We started writing a book. It's like the wild, wild west with AI. They're coming with these innovations. There's no kind of oversight, policy, advocacy, standardization. So we partnered up with some very powerful groups to in our lectures we passed. These are what our lecture rooms look like, where we're going from state to state and educating about the Dental AI Association and what is BRISCAR. This is about a 1.5 hour presentation, but nevertheless, to cut it short, you are welcome to contact us with that list to get more information. If it pertains to the World Gala, say these third parties wanna work with us, they can have the exposure to some of the finest doctors in the world and participate in that regard by being there, having a booth, having a presence. There's going to be very high profile people there outside of the doctors as well, but they're not there to present or to educate us about how we should do things in healthcare. Their
No.
products or services, the products and services are clearly defined what the costs of them are, and they present it, and we'll present it to the world. If it's in the interest of doctors and patients, we're all for it with open arms. But if you come into our profession and you set up these fake managers with them and more, we're going to come after you and we're going to shut you down. It's just a matter of time. So that's where we are with this.
I like that fighting talk. So let's find a couple of things out about you. So when you're not doing dentistry and you're not on this mission, what do you do to relax?
I'm a father of 2. I have an electric vehicle that takes me from home to work, where and from work to home. This is sort of my life has been. I spend the rest of the time with my little daughter, 6-year-old, and
Wow.
a son that's 8 years old, and I have a wonderful wife. And we try to keep working towards our goals. So particularly, I would say probably 99% of my time outside of the office with my family.
And I've got to say, listening to you, I resonate with you because I don't I don't see it as work. It's part of my lifestyle, and I'm talking to amazing people like yourself, Dr. Shah, is just a joy for me, and to give you this platform to let your brilliance shine and see the innovation that you're involved in, the difference that you're making with the world. But for me, it's more about making a difference. It's making an impact. And finally, of course, it's leaving the legacy. So what will your legacy say about you?
I think if I can't achieve anything by myself, if our group, the Global Sammis Institute, succeeds and prevails, we will have helped billions of people to have confidence in doctors and the healthcare industry once again. If our before my time is up, I've been at it now for 20 years. I got probably another 20 years in me, and we restore order. Billions of people will benefit from what we're doing, and that's the intent.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I know I will be re-listening to this because there was so much information, so much wisdom, so much innovation, so much inspiration. And I'd like to thank you from the bottom of our heart, Dr. Shah, for being with us today, for taking this valuable time out to have this conversation. So everybody, you've heard it today, Brilliance Today with the brilliant Dr. Kianor Shah. If you like this kind of program, tune in the next time. We have so much brilliance today for you to listen to. Let's be inspired. Let's get rid of what the media is trying to fill us with, and let's fill your life with some light, some joy, and some happiness. So until next time, this is Brenda saying, be brilliant. Much love. To the pip.
That's it for this episode of Brilliance Today. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. For more information or to contact Book Brilliance Publishing, visit bookbrilliancepublishing.com. And remember, do different. Be brilliant.